All right, so Randy Orton have doing Randy Orton things, which is fine. We all love Randy Orton doing Randy Orton things, but in him being heel, while even though I think he's like I said, he's doing Randy Orton things, comes up another situation where I guess we were gonna say IWC because I feel like that just has everybody who talks about wrestling involved than just what you really see on like Twitter and stuff. So cool. But it's weird that in everybody I've heard, whether it's been like Wrestle Talk or going in Raw with Steven Larson or Meltzer and whatnot, that the Randy Orton thing seems to be odd to them. It seems to be like what is the situation they're doing here with Cody Rhodes? And basically is that Randy is a heel. They're cheering the heel. They're booing or will boo with Cody and all this other stuff. And I don't think that Randy Orton gets to be in the bubble of being a heel as say how Trick is a heel, even though everybody loves him. Drew, when he was doing all his stuff against like CM Punk being the heel, I was like, to me, it's like while they're a heel and they're getting cheered for these things, that not the same thing I feel like with Randy Orton. I feel like Randy Orton gets to be in a different tier of thing. I was like, one, he's like him being a veteran like, and I mean like a real veteran, that him being a heel gets to look at it a little different. Like when Cena sort of got to be turned as a heel, yes, we knew he was like bad, but he was doing something that we all wanted him to do. And then the couple of times that he did do something in the realms of his heel character that we liked, yes, it got cheered, but while we also understood what was going on at the same time. I was like him fighting Cody and him just immediately just like attacking him, blaying up and all these other things, hitting Mac, beating up Matt Cardona and stuff. Like that is also just Randy Orton. Like Randy Orton, like yeah, some of it is the nostalgia piece of how he used to be when he was like the bald headed Randy or when he was like I was like rated RKO and I was like all those already, but those were a time where it was easy of heel baby face. It was very simple. Nowadays it's a little bit more convoluted. I was like there really is no pure baby face. And even then whoever the baby face has a really high chance of being upstaged by the villain to where we won't look at it. It's like, oh my God, he's doing villain things. Oh, it's really like, yo, he did some cool ass stuff. That's crazy. Do it again. Like, that's sort of where wrestling and I feel like people are sort of at. There's not really this pure baby face. There's not that just doesn't work. But with that being said, I was like, him being up against Cody doesn't really get to fit the whole heel baby face thing. Like if he was against like like a Javon Evans, okay, cool. He gets to be a little bit more heel to that guy. I was like, you can't even really say Sami Zayn because Sami Zayn and his stick of the baby face doesn't really kind of work that much either because we've seen Cody be a jerk to him. We've seen Randy be a dick to him. Guess what? I was like they get cheered for in that situation versus Sammy. Even Trick doing like yes, it's some heel stuff, but he's making fun of Sammy, and nobody really feels bad for Sammy in that situation. So like there really isn't any baby face you can really say. I was like that's just you, Javon. Kind of was like he still is like new to the roster and he just got that gumption that he can do it or whatever. He just seemed like a fun guy, as to where everybody else. And I was like, because the babyface now are like more edgy or people are tweeners. Um, but going back to Randy and stuff like that. His stuff that he did while it's sinister is still sort of cool. Him punting somebody is crazy, but it's awesome. I was like, his RKO is too cool for anybody to ever be like, boo. Remember when people was like RKO Beth Phoenix? Like everybody wanted that at the same time. Um, I was like, him doing the thing and him beating up Cody and stuff like that. Like that, like if Drew would have did that, yes, that would have been like we would have been like, oh, that's cool, but he would have got booed out the building, even if it is against Cody. I like Randy doesn't do that because he hear voices in his head. It's his whole stick. It's his whole thing that is like he's this guy, whether good or bad. I was like, and Randy Orton of being like Randy Orton has been a good guy, I want to say, than a baby face when I was like in his last, few years, especially since his return or whatever. Because I was like, we've seen babyface Randy Orton. It kind of just like, meh. But good guy Randy Orton still gets to do sort of cool Randy Orton stuff while being on the good side of the teams and whatnot. He is getting a little bit of the ovation of an old timer. He's going for his 15 championship, what I think also brings a difference of that hunger, that edge that you need to do something in order to get this title. We want you to get this title. And the reason I also think like, yes, him going as Cody at this time seems like it's a heel thing versus a baby face, but it's really kind of everybody's sort of a little bit like, I don't want to say over Cody, but they're more into Randy winning than anything, especially like him getting it right back him getting it right back after basically Drew beating him. That didn't seem like that was a fifth title reign. That is kind of like, okay, we don't want this. We want Randy to get it. Randy getting the next title. See if he can get close to Cena, because if he wins it, then that'll be a thing as well too at some point. So I was like, it's also the matchup. It's also the matchup against Cody as well. But I think also Cody feeds into it really well. That is like, I don't think it's an outright boo. Like, boo, we don't like you. I think it's really, we just want Randy to win this more. And Randy going to this place, it's just way cooler than really anything Cody can really do. And so, like, for instance, I was like, I can't think of the dude. I think it's I can't think of the dude that's with Meltzer. Whatever. Is it Brian Alvarez? No. I was like, but he doesn't he thinks that this is really because it's a little bit of nostalgia, which I do think it is that, but he doesn't think that they're really cheering for him to do any of this stuff, and that the heel thing doesn't really exist here. And I was like, I don't think it really exists, but but it was also needed, because that was also a thing too that he was also trying to say that it didn't make any sense or whatever, and it doesn't seem that it fits right. And I was like, it does fit right because of who it is. Like, I'm like anybody else that I'm saying that if you would have did it, you would have to really make it like, why did you snap? Randy Orton doesn't need a reason to snap. He could just be Randy Orton. He could just do it. I was like, yeah. I was like on Wrestle Talk. I was like, they didn't really think. I was like, and even on Going on Raw, that they don't that at the time they just don't see the reason of like they're like, him being a heel. How is this going to work when Cody is the baby face? And I'm just like, yes, Randy Orton is doing heelish things, but for him, he just gets to be himself, and it works because of that. It works because also Cody isn't a baby face that doesn't do anything. He just takes it on the chin. I was like, he also sort of fights back. So it's like, okay, and he's been a dominant champion. Let's also not forget that. Like, that what also sort of makes this heel thing works is the fact that it's like, it's not just like, if it was done to Jey Uso, I was like, well, at that time, I was like, people probably would have still cheered because it's Randy Orton anyway. But if it was when people like Jay Uso, that'd have been different. That would have been actual boos versus a baby face. And it would have been more sympathy toward that because it's like, dang, Jay Uso don't, what did Jay Uso do to you? Whereas like, Cody Rhodes is like, Cody Rhodes might hit your ass with a chair. He might. I was like, he doesn't do it quite often. And, sometimes he does have the thing like how he did on Raw where he was like, where he had the Stephanie McMahon thing that was sort of like a little off. That was kind of like, thank you. Like, it's just like, okay, that's the type of stuff we're talking about where you need to get punted in the face. You get what I'm saying? Like Cody also does bring this a little bit onto himself with, I was like, him being a little, I was like goofy, like with some of the stuff he does. But I just don't understand any of the people that were just like, was it right? Is it good? Can they? I was like, how does this even work? And it's like it works because it's Randy. It's Randy Orton. That's just what he does. Like, guess what? He does this, and after WrestleMania, say he wins, and guess what? And then he sort of just like, I did what I needed to do in order to get the championship. I might have taken it a little too far, whatever. Guess what? In about like I was like, I don't know how long he'll have the title because I was like, I feel like not that they would need to get it back to Cody or whatever like that, but I just don't know how long they would have him keep it or whatever, or if they would try to do the record thing. But let's say he had it for 5 months. He's turning back to basically a good guy at some point there because it'll be fine. He could easily just write it with all the stuff in his head. I was like, so that's why I'm like, him being healed, I don't actually believe that's real anyway. He's just being Randy, but it works for this whole thing because I don't know how far you would have been able to get with. I'm glad that you have finally stepped up to be the master after I was like over the teacher or whatever, some crap like that. I was like, that'll work. That'll work for like 1 week before everybody would have got bored of it. So this way, it already jumps through all those hurdles. We get past it. We got to where we wanted to with the cool Randy Orton. What is it that you all think? Do you think that is he a heel, or do you just think that it's Randy Orton doing cool Randy Orton stuff, and that it actually makes sense? Like to me, why I was like, this was the place that it had to go. Everybody wanted it. I was like, I was like, sort of should have seen it coming anyway, but it was necessary. Anyway, let me know what you think. Till then, peace. I'm out.